Hello. In this short video, I'm just going to give an overview of the assessments required for this unit, SWK 301, Working with and Developing Communities. The first area of assessment that you will have already noticed if you've looked on the assessment panel in LearnLine is that there are 6 modules and there are learning activities related to each of those modules. These responses to these questions are posted on the discussion board. The first one of these is due on March the 12th and it is not graded, and many people have already done that one, which is fantastic, where you are required to introduce yourself and also talk about the community or communities that you are part of. This first assessment is not graded, however, you must do all 6 learning activities to complete this unit. The second, the 4th and the 6th learning activity that you post on LearnLine will be graded. Also, you're required to, in these learning activities, respond to another student's post, and be aware that when you respond to another student's post that you, in a very short number of words, you only have about 50 words to respond to another post. Respond to what they're saying rather than saying what you like about what someone else has said. Be prepared to take that a little bit further to demonstrate that you have thought about and you have reflected on what your fellow student has said. The other key assessment that I'll talk about in this video is the first assessment, which is due an essay, and it's due on April 10. And you'll notice immediately that the module 3 learning activity on the discussion board is due on April 9. I'm aware of this, and I suggest that that you get organised early on and decide which one you're going to do first. The learning activities that you post on the discussion board are only 200 words of your own and about 50 words where you're responding to another student's post. So I suggest that you organise yourself and decide, are you going to do that learning activity prior to doing the essay. The essay is due on 10th of April, and this essay is about you matching your ideas about community with community work models and approaches. The essay is worth 30% of the overall value of this unit. You've got 1,000 words in that essay, which does not include your referencing. In that 1,000 words, you are being asked to choose a community that you would like to work with to address an area of change. The suggestion there is that you focus on a very specific local community or a geographic area. Define the community that you're wanting to work with early on in the essay. Do not spend a lot of time defining this. In the first paragraph or 2, you should have already defined the community that you're working with and what is the area of change that you and the community have identified to look at. When I suggest focus on a specific geographical area, what I mean is choose something quite specific. For example, I'm going to be talking about a particular issue in a small village and say where that village is located. Or, for example, in this essay, I'm going to be looking at a particular community that is located in a suburb that is a multicultural area in the city of Darwin. So locate where you are going to be doing or imagining that you're going to do this work. It's okay if it is a fictitious community. You can make it up. You can suggest that you would like to work with a small rural town isolated town of 500 people. That's fine. You can make it up. You can create it. But early on, define clearly what the community is that you're going to be working with. Then also define or talk about the changes that you or the community are wanting to work on. So for example, if you decide that you want to write about working with people who are in a public housing estate and they have identified with you that they want to look at their concerns about young people who don't have work, that might be the starting point around the changes that community want to address. So define both of these, the community that you're wanting to work with and the area of change, quite early on in the essay. Then talk about what the approaches or the model of community work that you think would best suit this, would best achieve this aim. So you might be thinking, well, where is the information for that? How am I going to decide what models? Here's a couple of things. The PowerPoints and the seminars so far, particularly in Module 1 and in Module 2, will give you some direction about this. In Seminar 3 particularly, and 4, we're going to start looking at different types of community work. So that's one source of your information. The other source of your information is reading. And I encourage you to, firstly, to read the core text, Kenny, Developing Communities for the Future, and also to read the other suggested readings for each week. This is where you will be starting to get information about your ideas of what type of community work you want to use. The other thing in preparing for this essay that I really encourage you to do, that people sometimes forget to do, is to look at the assessment criteria. Scroll down in the assessment section, look at Essay 1 and look at that assessment criteria, because these are the areas that I will be looking at when I mark these essays. So a clear definition and an explanation of your view of what is that community that you're working with. Demonstrating a good understanding of a community work model or approach and how that's going to help you to achieve those changes. These are the areas that this essay will be assessed on. Number 3, I really want to highlight this too, to critically analyse the community work model in relation to the tensions and debates and wider theoretical issues in contemporary society. So what does that mean? If you're talking particularly in your essay about working with women, for example, in a particular location who are wanting to address issues around safety, let's pretend, wanting to create a safer community for their children, what are some of the broader theoretical debates and issues that are going to impact on that? And some of the theories that we've been looking at in these earlier seminars, some of the sociological theories about how Marxism, how feminism, how neoliberalism, how different sociological theories impact on our understanding of how society works, they will be some of the theories that you may refer to and bring into that discussion. So they're really the meaty parts, those first 3 points in the assessment criteria. And of course, the presentation, always the presentation of your essay. You're writing an essay, you're not writing a report, so it will be expected to flow in the manner of an academic essay. So your spelling and your grammar and punctuation, presentation, all of those things are taken into consideration. Also note that you are required to use at least 5 references, and at least 5. It's expected that in that reference list it will show that you have used the core text, that you've referred to Developing Communities for the Future, and that you have read some of the texts that have been highlighted through the different seminars, and using APA as your referencing system. One other thing that I just want to bring to your attention about assessments is about extensions. The social work school here at CDU this year is requiring that students use an extension request form. Scroll down on the assessment page in LearnLine, you'll see that form there. I'm just bringing this to your attention because it's not acceptable just to send an email to me the day before the assignment's due. You need to be making a decision 3 days before the assignment is due to whether or not you're able to complete the assignment in that time. And you complete this form and fill it out and say your reasons for your request for your extension. What's the suggested date? How many days do you think you need? Fill that form out and email it to me, and then I need to respond to you. I just want to bring that to your attention so that you don't just send me an email the day before it's due because you won't hear back from me. Please, with this first assignment, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm at the university Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday morning. So please email me and ask me any questions. I'm happy to discuss your ideas and to talk with you about what you've already considered in your essay. However, I won't actually read drafts. Anyway, happy reading. Bye.